Hi there, this is Matt at State of Flux here with a retrospective series for all of the DC feature films. I'm going to be focusing on feature films, none of the serials and not many of the animated features. There will be a select 3 or 4 that I do include. We'll touch on those later, but up first is Superman and the Mole Men. This film from 1951 is fantastic. Honestly, it is one of the most even and true versions of Superman that we have ever gotten on screen. George Reeves plays the character so wonderfully in that very kind of muscular, barrel-chested vision of Superman that you would get from leading men in the 1950s. And he does it very well. He has a kindness, but a gravitas that makes the character real. And he intends on fixing problems not with his muscles or his might, though he does demonstrate that he offers both of those, but he tries to solve problems with his words. And the whole movie can be summated when he says, "It's people like you who make it difficult for people to understand each other." That is the moral message of this film. This film follows bigotry and how it can be used against people who are different. Now, Superman and the Mole Men, on the face value, extrapolates from horror of the 50s. You have sort of the Red Scare element, which is why I'm donned in red today. But the element of the Red Scare that is utilized in this film is utilized very ingeniously. You have Superman, who is coming into a small town, Silsby, I believe is the name of the small town, where it's got the biggest mine ever, the deepest mine. And when they go into it, the mole men start to arise. And the town is immediately thrust into a state of fear. But these mole men, played by little people, including, I believe, one of the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz, they're essentially harmless, like unintentionally harming things because they have radioactive energy attached to them. But they're simple. It's sort of like the Frankenstein element. Frankenstein 1931 James Whale picture, where they engage with a small girl. And the girl isn't afraid whatsoever. It's the parent that freaks out when she sees. And the mole men are innocent bystanders, but the town rallies together with their fear of them and tries to take them on. And it's the only other outsider who steps in to try to put a prevention of this massacre. These townspeople are willing to kill these people, these mole men, because of nothing more than fear and assumptions. And the Superman has the moment where he confronts the mob leader when they band together to actually, they literally say that they are a lynch mob. They plan to lynch these things. The Superman steps in and he says that iconic line, it's people like you who make it difficult for people to understand each other. If you talk, if you sort it out, and you don't rush to violence, you can build a better tomorrow, which is why he is the man of tomorrow. He's showing us a better way. When people are using their guns for purposes other than their designation, and they're wielding them wielding them at each other, including at the police and stuff like that. Superman comes in and he's like, if you can't be trusted with your guns, I'm going to take them. And then he just starts going through the crowd, which should have been a much more weighty moment, but you could tell this movie was filmed very fast and they didn't get the dynamic shots they probably could. But this is a Superman who is taking preventative action so that people don't get hurt. This isn't a Superman that is blithely hitting and punching and stuff like that. Yet there's never a moment in the film where you don't feel like this is Superman. This is a great Superman, an authentic Superman, and one of the best screen Supermans we've ever had. The movie is low budge, and it looks very low budge. This was designed sort of as a feature film to get people invested in a TV show, or at the very least recoup losses for a TV show had the show failed, which is why it stars George Reeves as Superman. And he does a great job. Phyllis Coates is Lois Lane, and she's feisty. She takes agency and action in the film as much as 1950s would allow her to, and that was appreciated. Those are the only two Superman characters that we've got. The villain of the film is man. It's not the Mole Men, until the Mole Men are kind of pushed into a corner where they see how they're being persecuted and attacked, and so they bring about their own weapon, which is this cute little vacuum thing that there's like 3 of the Mole Men. One bends down like this, while the other one puts the gun up so that they can aim it, but Superman even then comes in and he stands between, and when he's doing that is when the townspeople see that Superman's trying to help all angles. He's trying to make everybody okay. And the ultimate conclusion of the movie is a little weak sauce, or sending maybe a tiny bit of a mixed message, but I think as designed for children or young people, this is an excellent example of how to confront bigotry. Using your words, not jumping to conclusions, not running out to create a mob to attack, but to try and understand each other. And I think this does so very well. I'm a huge Superman fan, so I'm really excited to explore some of these Superman movies, and the larger DC universe on the whole, because I'm a big DC fan. And I figure with some of these movies, I can give you an awesome pairing to a book to read and a movie to watch. So, the Superman book that I'm going to suggest came out a few years back, and it is called Superman Smashes the Klan. In this, it is Superman exploring his Kryptonian nature. It's sort of like a Superman Year 2 story where he's active in Metropolis, but he still doesn't know the full extent of his backstory, and he starts learning it and realizes that he is every bit as alien as some of the people in the city are, feeling alien. These are black people or Asian people moving into a predominantly white city and encountering the Ku Klux Klan. And this is a story that is a reinterpretation of a radio story from the 1950s that helped to expose the Ku Klux Klan for what they are. It's an exceptional book, one I highly recommend, one of the best Superman comics out there. And if James Gunn is out there making his new Superman, Superman Legacy, I think this is where he should start. You can have an already active Superman exploring his backstory in a way we've never seen before, while smashing prejudicial biases and using the character of Superman, who is alien. He's not from here. He is a foreigner, to break down these barriers as Superman should. That is what, this is the literal exact book that I would use to make that new Superman movie. I don't know that we'll necessarily get that, because I would imagine that Warner Brothers would think that that could alienate too many people, unfortunately, but that's where I would go. Superman and the Mole Men gets 3.5 stars from me. I really like this movie, and it's a swift 58 minutes. And if you want a perfect pairing to go with this, where Superman continues to smash down barriers of bigotry, read Superman Smashes the Klan. It is fantastic and a great introduction to both Superman and an introduction point for Superman for your children. So, check those out. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and peace.